Today is a slow food day in my kitchen where it's actually taken months to produce this meal. So we're doing farm to table, straight out of our organic farm, and I'm going to be cooking up a dinner for my family. So first of all, if you have green tomatoes and you haven't had your first frost yet, don't get rid of them. There is a better way, and I'm going to show you in this video how I ripen all of my green tomatoes so that I can can them and make all kinds of awesome meals. And I took this footage back at our Canadian Thanksgiving when my brother and his kids were staying on our property. So these are my little nephews.
And you pull like that, and then you put those in the basket, in the wheelbarrow.
I will cut it. I will burn it.
I actually found this bird nest right in the tomatoes, which was pretty funny. And so we're just harvesting all of the biggest tomatoes because there was way too many for me to save. There was a lot of cherry tomatoes. I focused in on the bigger tomatoes because that's the best for canning. And then once we had those picked, we had these sort of cardboard flats, and we're laying those in there kind of single file, just a little bit over so that we can put as much as possible. But you don't want them to be piled too much on top of each other because then it's too much weight. And when they ripen, they can bruise really easily. And then any that are blushing pink, I need to put in my window so that they get light. But the ones that are fully green, we need to keep those in complete darkness, and the darkness will promote them to start ripening. And then as soon as you see a hint of a blush on your tomato, you can bring it up, and I put it on a table right in front of the light. I like to sort these just from the ripest all the way to the least ripe. And I don't know, I just think it's fun. But I've been doing my tomatoes like this for several years because we live in Canada. And if we don't start our tomatoes really, really early, like February, then they will not ripen in time before the frost. And even if we start them really early, a lot of times we just don't get them to ripen in time. So I usually always have to do this, and it always works like a charm. I've got all of those boxes stacked up in my basement, and they're covered with shade cloth to keep them in darkness. And I try to keep them in a dark room as well. And these are going to have to be checked on regularly to pick out any that are starting to ripen. You really need to keep on top of this because if any of them start to go bad, it's just going to be a gross mess. But from here, you just keep bringing them upstairs and putting them in the light. And I have had tomatoes last me up until Christmas. What I've decided on for tonight's dinner is a classic cream of tomato soup. I found the recipe in a 1960s copy of The Joy of Cooking. And we're getting some really cold weather now, so it is the perfect time of year to be making a nice, cozy, comforting soup like this. And I plan on making grilled cheese to go with it because that's just the perfect combo. The first step here is to give these a nice wash because they still have leaves and debris stuck to them from being outside. And then I'm going to be cutting these up and putting them in my Dutch oven. I'm taking out the cores and cutting off any possible bad spots, but I'm keeping the skins on. It's all going to go into the soup. I'll have this recipe down below for you guys, and you can definitely make it with canned diced tomatoes from the store. You don't have to have a garden full of tomatoes. And I've canned a lot of tomatoes, so I know that these are going to be perfectly safe to just slowly simmer away throughout the day while I'm outside. My goal is to use as many of my ripe tomatoes as I can, so I'm not measuring anything at all. I'm just putting these tomatoes into the pot and I'm going to get it going, get it to a boil, and then turn it down to about 3 on my stove so that it can simmer for several hours. We've been tending to this tomato patch for months, and we started the seeds ourselves in our own starting trays. And so it has honestly taken months of work to get these tomatoes to the point that they're at now. And I just love having these tomatoes down in my basement, and I can just keep pulling from them and bringing more up. I've got to wipe down the table that I'm keeping them on. And this method just works. It really does. I've done it so many times, and I won't have to buy any tomatoes for a really long time. And I'll be able to can all throughout the months where I have time to do so, because in the summer I'm too busy. So it just works out perfectly. I've still got a lot of tomatoes left, and I don't have time to can anything right now. So I'm probably going to add some more tomatoes to the soup once they've cooked down a little bit. And there's so much juice in tomatoes that you can really let it simmer for a long time. And what I did was I let the lid just go to the side a little bit to let some steam out. But this is sort of on a little break from work that I came up and just cut up a few more tomatoes directly into the pot just to add more so that I can use up these tomatoes. In the recipe, it says to add some onion and celery, and we just happen to have celery on our farm, as well as onions that we grew ourselves. So I'm harvesting this celery directly from our farm, and I'm going to come inside and put this through my food processor to chop it up fine, and then I'm going to put it in the soup and let that cook for another several hours. This is just such a rewarding time of year. If you've worked hard to have a garden or a farm, and this is when you really see the benefits of all of your hard work. It all comes together and you end up with so much abundance. And I just love the rhythm of the seasons and farming. I was in quite a rush to get this done. So I just used 3 celery stalks, I think 1 shallot and 2 or 3 small red onions. And I just pulsed that in my food processor and threw it all into the pot. And as per the recipe, I added a tablespoon and a half of sugar, as well as a tablespoon of salt. And the sugar cuts through the acidity of the tomatoes. And then I also added a bay leaf. And then this is just going to keep on cooking right up until dinner time. This is after school pickup. It's about 4:30 and I'm checking on the tomatoes and they've thickened up quite a bit. I was actually pretty surprised how thick it got. The next step is to be making a white sauce. This is composed of butter and flour that are cooked together, as well as milk. It's very simple to make and a really good thing to know how to do. I'm adding some dried thyme to that, and I'm taking the bay leaf out of the tomatoes. That is the butter and flour and thyme mixture. And the next step is to add milk to it. And this is going to thicken up that milk into a creamy white sauce. I've blended up the tomatoes, onions, and celery mixture until it's pureed really well. You could also put that into a blender, but I have a hand blender. And then we're going to add the creamy white sauce. Here's where the experience of a cook comes in. We need to taste the soup and see what's missing. And right away, I knew that I needed to add more sugar. So I added about 2 more tablespoons because it had a bit of a bitter taste to it, and I knew it needed to be sweetened up. I'm sure canned tomato soup has quite a bit of sugar in it. And then I also added some heavy cream because it just wasn't tasting creamy enough. And that really, really helped with the flavor of the soup. And then I also added a little bit more salt. I gave it another taste test, and the flavors were really coming together, but it wasn't quite there with the creaminess just yet. So I added some more heavy whipping cream, and that really did the trick. Now, I could totally see adding some grated cheddar cheese to this soup, and that would be fabulous. But I decided to make grilled cheese on the side to go with this soup. What would have really made this meal would have been homemade bread, but I was all out and had to use store-bought. A bit of a disappointment because homemade is so much better. However, this soup was divine, and you just cannot beat something that was made with your own fresh, homegrown tomatoes. Even though it took me all day to make this soup, you could whip this up in a flash if you use canned tomatoes, and it's just so quick and easy to make. So you can do it the slow way like I did, or you can do it extremely quick, and either way, it's going to be so much better than canned tomato soup. We named our little kitten Jasper, and I love that name. And in fact, my son had a cat named Jasper, and that cat unfortunately went missing. So I really thought it was nice to name this one Jasper as well. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It is difficult to get everyone eating at the table together. People are just busy with a lot of different things. My husband is coming in and out from working outside. And so it was just my son and I at the table tonight, and everyone else ate during their own timing. But it was just really nice to sit at the table with candles because it's getting so dark out. And we thoroughly enjoyed this soup. There's just something so warm and comforting about a creamy tomato soup like this. It's just perfect this time of year, and I really hope that you will give it a try, whether you have your own homegrown tomatoes, or if you just go to the store and pick up a can of diced tomatoes or crushed tomatoes, whatever you can get your hands on. It's easy, it's delicious, and it will be enjoyed by everyone around you. Thanks so much for joining me in today's video. I come out with a new video every single Wednesday, so hit that subscribe button and I'll see you next week.